welcome race fans to another freaky fast broadcast here on Wednesday night, and we are here at the LA Coliseum for the clash for the Wicked Racing League. This league is sponsored and brought to you by Buttkicker. We know them, we love them. Make sure you go check them out, but we can get back to that later. This league is, of course, the Wicked Racing League, ready to go, fresh league. It is I, Carl Pooler, in the booth with Zach Hall, and as always, Robert Moyer Jr., our producer. Zach, this is a very fresh league with a couple of guys who wanted to do their own thing and do their own league, and looks like they are getting ready. A bunch of recruitment races to finally come to this clash right before the first official points race of their season.
Yeah, this is fun, man. New league, new races and stuff here, new names, and it's always fun for that first race here. And first thing too, for the first time, Freaky Fast will be here at the LA Coliseum. First time for myself, also calling a race here. This is going to be pretty hectic, man. As we got about 2 minutes and 40 seconds left here of the Buttkicker Cup Series practice. It's going to be an interesting night here with these guys taking it on for 175 laps. So going to have to be able to make stuff happen. And also, I was looking a little bit through the info, the list of the rules, and all the session info here. We also got a 60% fuel load, so not that full 20-gallon fuel tank on these cars. So we're only going to utilize 60% of the 20 gallons that's possible in this next Gen 7 Cup Series car. Also, 4 sets of tires here tonight, so 3 in pit road. So these drivers are going to have to figure out when they want to utilize those tires here through the whole 175 laps. But man, Carl, it's going to be fun here tonight as next gen series action, and you cannot get away from your competition here tonight, because even if you do run away, you'll catch them at some point.
Definitely, this quarter-mile layout is really flat, and it's kind of, there's no real straightaway. You're constantly turning, and the power of these cars and the gearing of these cars really makes them want to get that power down. And we have been watching practice for quite a while now, Zach, and we have seen a lot of these cars spin out, get loose, and they're just really struggling all over this track. So it's going to be a lot of fun tonight, gearing up for a whole new season, for a whole new league here Wednesday nights on Freaky Fast Broadcasting.
That it will be. And there's going to be some nuances of watching how these cars race around this quarter-mile track. I mean, very tough, very tight, and technical when it comes to your inputs of how you got to drive around here. You would think, how do you make speed around such a tight little racetrack like that? It's really putting the traction down, getting the roll through the center, and doing great through the braking phase. So it's putting all the corner together here, and you're going to see a few different techniques possibly used. Some guys might elect to downshift into the corner. Then as they go on the straightaway, shift back up. Some guys might run into the higher gear. Some guys might let it bang off the chip all the way down the straightaway. So there's different things that can go through, but this place is so tough. Right here, as we head into this qualifying here in the next 30 seconds, it's going to be interesting to see who can put down the quickest times here. This, like I said, this place is very tough to get a good lap on.
Tough indeed, and you mentioned it earlier, Zach. Only 4 sets of tires here tonight, and we are running on a really warm racetrack. It's a decent, nice sunny day here in virtual LA, 75 degrees, but the track temp is about 110, 111, and these guys makes the track really slick, makes it really tough to handle. So these guys are going to have a whole night ahead of themselves, not only competing with themselves, but the track. With 4 sets of tires, I have a feeling that inside line is going to be key, and being able to hold that with fresh tires might lead to success at this track.
Well, we'll have to see who can have success here as it rolls over into qualifying, as you get the beautiful sights of the LA Coliseum here. And just what a magnificent thing they've built here. I mean, crazy to see this spectacle of a event here, and it's gonna be fun to call this race here tonight alongside me, alongside myself, Zach, and Carl Pooler here. So we're gonna have a great time up here in the booth. Everybody, hope y'all enjoy, and we're going to see how these guys get done. As you can see right there, already a little bit of a mistake already in qualifying, and it's so easy to do. You're trying to run the brake bias as far back here to get as much turn with those rear brakes. You get into that corner a little bit too hot, lose the rear end.
And when that's when that car starts to wheel hop, you start losing grip to the road, and that's where all your troubles start to really rear their ugly heads, because once that rear end comes out, it's almost impossible to catch it, and especially with other drivers and cars on your rear end looking to make it past. Not a lot of space here, so if things happen, they're going to happen quick and definitely bottle up here with these really narrow track surfaces here at the LA Coliseum, Zach. So it's going to be really fun to watch. Looks like we have about 15 drivers showing up tonight, right, getting ready for this clash, and I'd imagine it's just a good time for a lot of these drivers to get to know each other and start to feel out how they're going to race each other, because Zach, you of all people know it's really important who you know and how you race them did any given part of the track, any time of the race.
No doubt, you got to learn your competition for sure all throughout the season, and the Clash race is a good one to fill it out before we head off to Dover to start next week for the season. Is seeing some last few guys try to put down some lap times here to see where they place themselves on the leaderboard. This is a 22 Eric Hawk. As we're going to be probably making a few mistakes here tonight, folks here with some last names, but make sure drivers, if you're out there going back watching the broadcast, or anybody out there, please help us get their names right and pronounced right. As it'll be a growing process for me and Carl up here in the booth as we watch Eric in this 22 continue to put times down. We'll be 14th on the board there for that first one. See if the next one will pick him up, and now take him up to the 13th position. So one more spot up there with a 14:75.
And look at these laps, less than 14 seconds, 14.6 there for the leader, Gavin Rogers. These guys are whipping around this quarter-mile track, and looks like with that final time, we are going to almost finish qualifying and start the grid up procedures. So here we are at the LA Coliseum for the Clash, the Wicked Racing League. Gavin Rogers looks like he's going to take the pole, but not quite yet. So I'm jumping the gun here. But Zach, we haven't done any racing here, any commentating. It's really new track, especially new to the community, but it has been such a good thing what iRacing and NASCAR have done to bring this not only to the virtual world, but to the real world as well, and have the guys you love to see on Sunday run this track.
Yeah, this is a spectacle, like I said earlier. I mean, you can see just from this shot, I mean, it doesn't look your normal track. You know, it's not your normal track. It's a temporary track. So good on them. And, you know, iRacing was used to develop this track in real life to make the real event happen. So it's cool to see this track on iRacing and be a part of the simulation that helped grow the actual racing event. So really, really cool to see how iRacing as a simulation can help motorsports itself. So really, really cool. But man, oh man, about a minute 18 seconds to go. Looks like everybody has finished qualifying other than Matthew Slunder in the 15. But looking at my list right now, it looks like Matthew, actually, no, he is back in the session. So he is back connected in. So he should be able to possibly put time down here, but only a minute time left. He hasn't left pit road. Doesn't like, it's very unlikely at the moment. But again, Gavin Rogers sitting atop the times at the moment with John Curtis there second, and Alex Coffey in the 07 there third. But I can't confirm the 15 of Matthew Slunder. He's pulling off pit road. He's got 45 seconds, and guess what? With this being about a 13 to 15 second lap, he can try to get that done, but I think he made a mistake exiting pit road.
And there's just another one of those instances where this car has a lot of power, not a lot of grip on throttle, so definitely one of those issues there these drivers are going to have to tame at this track is the looseness getting off of pit road as well, especially with all this traffic and how tight this track can and is going to be. But here we go. He's going to try and make another run at it with about 14 seconds. Will he be able to pass the line? Looks like he will be able to. So here we go. He's going to start his lap, Zach. Lucky for him, he may get a good qualified time in here.
Yeah, let's see if he can try to get it done. It's like having a little bit of connection issues at the moment as the time will click away. I don't think he's going to get a time in. As there it is. That's the end of qualifying there for your Buttkicker Cup Series Clash race here at the LA Coliseum. And can't confirm, we do have stages at lap 30 and 100, I'm hearing.
Stage racing, of course, lap 30, lap 100, and then gonna finish out stage 3 at lap 75. But here at the racing, the Wicked Racing League, qualifying is over at the Coliseum. So pole position is gonna go to that number 16 of Gavin Rogers. The 00 will take that second spot, and John Curtis rounding out the starting podium is Alex Coffey in the 07. Ryan Thomas going to be there in 4th position. Jamie Plord in there in 5th. Stefan Borbell in 6th. Adam Bazeo at 7th. Blaine Wilson in 8th. TJ Roberts in 9th. And Ryan Harrison's going to wrap out the top 10.
In that 11th position, it's going to be Christian Desroches. 12th is going to go to Revin Gear. 13th is going to go to Eric Hawkett. 14th is going to go to Jimmy Kubanek. 15th is going to go to Chad Bean, and rounding out the field there's going to be Matthew Cylinder in the 16th position. As that's going to round out the field here tonight. 16 cars going to take place here at the Clash at the LA Coliseum.
And 16 cars is going to be absolute chaos here. We at the start line, there's a ton of cars, but the line goes all the way into turn 4, and like I said, 8 rows of cars, 16 drivers all ready to go here at the Coliseum for the Clash. And Zach, this is going to be a really fun and exciting series to watch. I feel really fresh, really hoping to make a name for themselves and grow. These guys have a lot of plans for this league, so having this Clash starting here is really exciting. I'm glad to be here for it.
Glad to be here too, Carl. Definitely under the bright lights here in LA. They started it off with a bang, and tell you what, we'll see what these guys can do here. As remember, stages we've got word is at lap 30 and 100 here tonight. So we'll be looking for that first one pretty early into this race to get these guys a good feel, and we'll have a decent run after that. But it's gonna be questionable to see how long they can go. This place so tight, compacted. Can they keep it clean?
And they keep it clean will be the question, but 175 laps, it could be the question of who survives the craziness of a flat short track such as this quarter mile here in the LA Coliseum. These guys pace lights on the pace car are out, and these guys are getting ready to go. Front row of the 17 and 00 pacing the field, and these guys have some really good looking cars out here, so really exciting. Looks like these guys are ready to go. I know looking in the Discord, these guys were really excited just for the Clash. Some of the drivers couldn't make it, so we're really expecting a much more exciting and maybe filled evening next week. But here we are, green flag, the 17 with a great launch off the inside. The 7 is going to follow them through on the inside of the 00, and off we go. That outside line already proving not where you want to be.
Yeah, that outside line not going to work at all at this place. The inside fastest way around, and quickly you're seeing that as every driver started up on the bottom is looking to make some happen. It's 3 wide back there as Adam Buzzio. They're making the big move on the bottom lane, locking up, and slid through there on the bottom lane. Luckily got a couple spots out, but now he's getting the back bumper beat off. It looks like that's going to be to the 7 there of TJ Roberts. Looks like he's got the 3 on his car, but he's the 7 in session here. Looks to the back bumper. Has also got Steven Borbell back there. So again, you can see the accordion effect back from each driver.
And each driver has their own braking points, their own turning points, and that's what makes this kind of driving so treacherous in the sense is you never know what the guy is going to do in front of you. And we have a caution out. It looks like the 7 of TJ Roberts is going to go around and bring out our first caution here at lap 5. So Zach, already really close action. 3 wide action. I didn't think you could do that and not wreck, but it looks like Adam Buzzio is going to be taking advantage of that. So as we pull up the replay here, we're going to see. And so anyway, no replay. Sorry about that, Zach. These guys racing really hard already in only lap 5 of the session.
Yeah, that was actually the 07 of Coffey. He's got the 7 on car. So Alex Coffey there was the car that went around, and he was running in the 2nd position there, trying to actually take the lead from Gavin Rogers. Just spun it coming off the corner there. So TJ Robertson, the 7, which is 3 in session. So a little confusing for everybody at home, and even confusing for us here. It can be at times, but man, unfortunate for Coffey there, who qualified up in 3rd. He's going to be all the way back in 14th. Luckily, he stayed on the lead lap, had a tough time getting it spun back around with how narrow this track is.
But it looks like he's going to be able to continue on and doesn't have any real permanent damage. And that's a good thing of maybe spinning. I don't think he got hit by anyone, so he should be able to continue on and fight for the lead here later in this race. But already we are coming up to completing our second caution lap, starting our third. And again, even under caution, these laps are really ticking quickly, Zach. So 175 laps does seem like a lot, but in terms of time, we may get through this in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, you know, pace laps go by pretty quickly still here. I mean, you know, 30-second lap in under pace laps pretty impressive for you know, quarter-mile place. But you know, I expect these guys to get some green flag laps underneath their belt. Luke was doing pretty good there. It was just a simple mistake, like I said there from Coffee, and just lit the rear tires up. It's so hard when he was underneath the 16 of Gavin Rogers there coming off the corner. He had so much wheel in it to keep it off of Rogers. It just lit the tires up, and from there, just lost the rear end. And good on him, though, kept it down there, let everybody pass, got to turn back around, and he's going to catch up to that back of the field. As we got that pace car lights out side by side now, as so we Gavin Rogers and John Curtis leading us back to green as they started off 1 and 2.
Starting off 1 and 2, leading off the finishing laps of this caution. Pace car is going to pull onto pit lane. Green flag is going to fly, and the 17 gets a launch at the line. He's going to get to that inside line and ride along, but he's going to go in wide. Looks like the double O of Curtis is not going to be able to get to his bumper, get the outside until there, but already passed by the 40 of Ryan Thomas. Ryan Thomas looking to make a move for the lead.
Yeah, Ryan Thomas real opportunistic as they're wrecking back there for position. Looks like the 38 there of Jamie involved in it with TJ Roberts and the 7 machine, and those two getting into it down into 1. It sent the 38 around, and that's going to bring out the second caution of the night as it's mayhem here already at the Clash.
It is the Clash, and already these drivers are clashing on the track. Incidents here, that was definitely some contact by that the TJ Roberts in that car. You see the number 3 there on the screen. So already a couple of cautions here, Zach. So with 16 cars, looks like the 38 may stay on the lead lap, but with 16, looks like 15 cars, Sluter looks like he may have had some connection issues. But these guys already showing it may be a battle of attrition.
Yeah, definitely could be like that, as we do have 2 cars that, you know, have stopped for, it looks like, the night possibly. I know Matthew Slunder, he's took it behind the wall, 11 laps down now. And Revan Gurr in the 54, he's in here sitting on pit road, so must have parked it for the night for himself. So dropping back here to the 15th position, now sitting on pit road. Unfortunate for those 2 drivers out of this race already, but Ryan Thomas there getting to the lead quickly. Now Gavin Rogers in that 16 machine is going to be having to restart on that top side, and that's going to be an interesting position for himself there, as we've seen that outside hasn't been the place to restart so far.
Definitely not, and even better than the outside would be second row inside. That was the 40s position there on that last restart. That's going to put the 00 of John Curtis in that spot, and he's going to probably trail the 40 in that's in his tracks almost, and get around the 17 before anything else can really happen. But that 17, as we've seen on these first couple of restarts, that outside line will lose a spot or 2 on this restart.
Yeah, that's definitely not the place you want to be, but we've seen the 00 there, John Curtis, not do too bad again. And sorry again to everybody, yeah, we do have a little bit of different numbers going on out there. Is that second place car, Gavin Rogers, is the 16 ensign, but 17 on car, so might get a little confusing there for you all out there. Is we'll have to get that fixed up there for the start of the season. So right here, getting double filed back up and ready for another restart here at the Clash.
Another restart, pace car hitting pit lane. Here we go. Green flag in the hands of Barney, the flagman, and it is off. That 40 got a really good start, and following the tracks is the 00 of Curtis there, passing the 17, the 16 of Gavin Rogers, and settling there in second place, with Rogers sitting there in third right behind him as we ride along. And you just see how kind of smooth he really cranking on that wheels we ride along on board with the third place car. But man, these guys are really putting a lot of wheel into these cars and while they're turning.
Yeah, a lot of wheel being turned for sure, but there's a 21 of Buzzio. He's making a move there on up there. And a little bit of a caution. And I think that may have came from that contact there. No, it's something farther behind. I'll have to figure out exactly what it is. Looks like there's a car going around. Looks like it might be Jimmy K and also the 22 of Eric Hawkett getting into it.
And these guys is showing already a little bit of excitement, maybe a lack of patience. Everyone's really raring to go, and we still have quite a few laps, 156 laps to go here for this clash at the Coliseum. So just needs a little bit of time for everyone to get into a rhythm, but these restarts really upset that rhythm and really frustrates the drivers. Also, they can't get in rhythm, can't get in their line, and always having to be side by side definitely grates on some of these guys.
And if you'd ever want rhythm, it'd be a track like this. This is definitely a rhythm-based racetrack. So not something, like you said, they want to see keep continuous cautions like that. It does break your rhythm as a driver, but some of the drivers are liking it. Probably they're saying, man, this is a little bit safer than the regular green flag laps around this place. But as we said earlier, it's a tough place, man. 3 cautions in the first 22 laps, and it's so easy just to make one simple mistake. Right there at last incident was just 2 drivers going for the same spot, and the 77 just coming up the racetrack just a little bit too much with a car on his outside, and possibly not knowing that car was there. As this place, again, you get so blindsided by stuff because you're so focused ahead, because it's really a blind corner because it's so tight. But it is a very fascinating racetrack, to say the least.
You combine those tight corners with a really narrow race surface, and it's really difficult for a lot of these drivers to get that spot. 1 minute you think, or I should say 1 second you think you're clear, and that whole clear gets blocked up really quick on a track like this. So it's really hard to say if anyone's really clear unless you really know if you're in the back, make sure everyone's in front of you. But even then, you're not safe with 13, 14 second laps. You would get lap traffic relatively quickly, so you definitely got to be careful and keep your head on the swivel if you want to race this track.
And on the swivel, indeed, is I think we're getting double file back up here, I believe. We'll be looking to go back green here, Carlos, to see how Ryan Thomas can lead us to green here.
And this will put us lap 25, 5 laps until the end of the first stage. So the 40 gets a good launch off the green flag. The 21 of Adam Buzzio is going to try and get in his line, but the 16 there, the 17 of Gavin Rogers is doing really well with that outside line, and Buzzio didn't get quite the start that he wanted. But here we are, battle for 4th place, the double O of John Curtis on the inside with the 19 on the outside of Alex Coffey. So these guys battling hard up here at the front as we see someone lock up. Ooh, the 7 dives hard into the inside of that 19 car.
Yeah, everybody having some lockups, I think, is a lot of guys getting into his corners a little bit too hard. And a lockup usually comes when you turn that wheel. You put a lot of load on the outer tire, and you always see the inside left front tire is the tire that locks up, not the right front, because that load and weight that is buried on the tire is coming off the tire. So it really makes it lock up there more common than the right front is. Oh, up front, the 16 goes around of Gavin Rogers there fighting for the lead with Ryan Thomas.
And they were definitely side by side. Gavin Rogers had the inside line, but it looks like he might have gotten to the throttle just a little too quickly there, a little too much in earnest, and will spin around. But it doesn't look like he's going to take any more additional damage from any other driver. So a relatively clean spin from the 17, and this actually will be, it looks like it should be the stage break. So right there, ladies and gentlemen, the first stage of the Wicked Racing League unofficially here, as this is an uncounted race for points. So this is really just a fun race for everyone to get acquainted and get together. So already, Zach, first stage done. We've already seen 4 cautions. It's a little hectic out there.
Yeah, definitely. This place, when they built it, I think they had that in mind, Carl. I think they were saying, let's build something that is hectic. You can't get away from your competition, and it's showing right here early. And man, that's 2 times we've had a move being made by a driver up front trying to get to the lead and spinning out. So putting that power down is showing it's very, very difficult, especially in, like I said earlier, with the shifting of gears, it's what gear you're using is really questionable too. A lot of these guys probably electing to run 3rd gear around this racetrack in third gear. At times, very, very torquey, and it can really light those rear tires up. And that's why I think you're seeing guys trying to get that run off the corner on the inside, have a little bit more wheel in it, with the same amount of power they do when they let that wheel unwind, and those rear tires just go up in 1 second. And you see them lose it as we pace around the LA Coliseum, man.
Oh, definitely. And on the other side of that, as we're riding on board, looks like with one of our racers, these guys are really focused. And just look at that kind of focus. He's ready to go, and he's look at how much he's flipping that wheel, Zach. That's almost a whole 90-degree, almost 100-degree rotation. That is ridiculous in terms of what these guys are usually used to steering these wheels to that degree.
Definitely interesting as we continue to pace here as we get double file back up, and we're going to go back green flag racing as these guys I've had a tough time so far, but made it past stage one. Let's see how this works out.
Stage one is concluded. We are starting stage two, and we are here live. Cam on the left, driver cam on the right, and there's a great launch there by the 40 again at the restart. The 21 Adam Buzzio is going to take that inside line away, and we are on board with the 00 of John Curtis. So John really focused, really torquing that wheel, but at least it's smooth. He's not overcorrecting. He's not jerking the wheel too much. You see a little bit there, but he's really smooth, and that is really going to help him in the longer run in this race.
No doubt. But again, look how much wheel you have to put in this race car to get it. The turn is back under caution once again here. As looks like quickly, it looks like I believe the 19 of Stephen Borbell has gone around coming off a 4, and again, a common case, car underneath the car, lighting the rear tires up and spinning it on the front stretch.
It's what we've seen all day in these drivers, and it's so hard, it's so easy for that to happen. These cars actually have a decent amount of horsepower, and with these really low speeds that they're going at, there isn't much in the way of aerodynamics for helping mechanical turns. So these guys are really struggling with the grip of this track. It's actually even cooled down a little bit, so these it's still struggling to adapt to this track, but it is a really new track. It just came out this past February, March, Zach, so even some of the most seasoned veterans haven't really put a lot of laps here.
Yeah, and you know, this isn't a common track you're going to race on a schedule either, so kind of a one-off exhibition style track, not something you really want to race for points. So yeah, it's definitely something that drivers are not used to, so they're still getting their hangs on or grips of it here. As right now continue to pace is 38 laps in the books. It's been much of it underneath the yellow flag, but at some point here we do expect these guys to get it green and have a battle here for this lead. As Thomas, he stormed to that lead. I had a few attempts to try to take it away from him. A few guys did, but nobody could make that happen. But gotta say, Buzzio's had a good run up here from 7th to 2nd place.
And he's really utilized that brake, really charged the corners. We've seen him light it up a couple times early in the race. We've seen him 3 wide, very down at the bottom, almost against that wall, but he's made it work, clawed and climbed his way to the 2nd position in that 21 machine. So he's doing really well, but the 00 of Curtis behind him is doing really well as well. Started in the 2nd spot, and he's maintained a top 3 every lap of this race so far. So the top 3 of these cars not doing a lot of shuffling, but Alex Coffey back there starting in 4th, working his way to started in 3rd, keeping his way up in 4th and trying to stay in the top 5.
Yeah, and you got to remember also he's spun going for that lead, so has worked his way back up. So we'll see. Was looking quick early here as we get ready to go back green.
Pace car on pit road, and the green is out. The 40 machine gets a great launch again. The 00 going to try and fill that slot on the inside line inside of the 21 and Adam Buzzio, and he looks like he's going to take that spot. So John Curtis taking the 2nd position from the 21, and in his tracks is the 7 machine of that Alex Coffey. So Alex Coffey trying to make a crack into the top 3.
Yeah, Coffey really storming his way back up here. He's now going to take 3rd. There's the 21 of Buzzio up in the wall now, really slow for him there as he's going down the back straight. I don't know if he's had some type of issue. It looks like he just slowed down and let everybody by there, but now almost a little bit of contact there from the 19. Gets it back going straight, but man, oh man, that was an interesting case there for him as he pulls low once again. I don't know if something has happened to that 21. He's just letting every single car go by. Looks like going to pull into pit road here, and possibly, I don't know, be calling it over there. As looks like we jump back up here, and we're looking at the battle here. The 13 Ryan Harris, he's trying to put pressure on that 38 as our leaders there now. The 00 John Curtis here, he's making a move, but the caution comes back out as there's a car wrecked in front of him.
And it looks like the caution is going to come out while the 40 was in the lead. So John Curtis not going to be able to have that pass credited, but John Curtis in that 00 machine was very fast and was able to hook that inside line much better than our leader in the 40. In fact, we saw the 40 of Ryan Thomas lock up there a little bit. So not even the leaders are being able to pull away from the rest of the field. The leaders struggling just as much as all the drivers in the back of the field with that dirty air. So it goes to prove clean air just sometimes isn't everything.
Yeah, clean air here. This place I really wouldn't worry about clean air. More just having clean track. It's having that open space to do what you want and have the freedom to enter the corner differently. Because when you have somebody you have to defend, you have to enter a little bit differently. You can't open the corner up as much as you want. That driver behind you will be looking to dive up the inside, and you give somebody the inside here at the Coliseum, it's pretty much over at that point. You're not going to fight them off on that top side. So you get very defensive at some points, have to enter very, very straight, and that can compromise your exit. So it's very tough to hold the lead here not only. So very, very tough racetrack, and it's proven tough here. There's a few guys trying to get a hold of it here tonight.
Definitely trying to get a hold of it. And here we are, lap 48. We're roughly just a little under a third of the way through this race. We've already finished our first stage. The second stage will be at the conclusion of lap 70, so we still have about 22 laps for that, and so we can expect a lot more racing the way we've seen it, just because of what you've described, Zach. It's really tight, really competitive, and everyone's vying for the same couple of inches on the track, and that's what's really kind of involved and made this track in this race such a fun and exciting race to watch for all the spectators out there.
It really has, man. I tell you, it's cool to see the growth of the sport and where it's gone and the things they're trying. So we'll see how their future endeavors work. Of course, as we've heard, the Chicago street races being a thing in the future to happen, and unfortunately having to lose a date there at Road America. But man, we'll see how the future works there, as NASCAR's definitely thinking outside the box, especially with this track and future endeavors.
And at this track, the pace car is on pit lane in the future endeavor with the green flag in the air. A great launch by the 40 as usual as we've seen, but the 00 is able to hold off the third place starter there and keep that inside line and not get past and keep that second position. And the caution is out again. Looks like we have some contact and a couple of spinners in the back there. Might have the 16. So another caution here at LA Coliseum.
Yeah, another crash here at the LA Coliseum, man. Is a 7 caution here in the first 52 laps. It's definitely been a little bit of a tough one for these guys, but we would show the replays here tonight, but it's just so tough to do here at this smaller track with our software. So just anybody out there wondering why we haven't seen any replays for those cautions is just due to the frequency and the time available there for that in our software to register. So unfortunately for that, we're not going to be catching many of those unless it happens live on the screen. So just to let you know, folks out there. But man, while we're at it here under caution, we might as well give us some time here to give some shout outs to some sponsors up here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And one of those shout outs we need to give to is Admin Box. That's right, Admin Box is race control at your fingertips. Each admin box connects via USB. It features pre-programmed commands with no key bindings needed for race control, driver functions, and pit options. It has LED backlighting that makes each button highly visible and is mounted in a desk enclosure. So it is very, very cool. I must say I have one myself. So make sure you head on over to adminbox.com, and that's adminbox with 2 X's there, I must say, to get race control at your fingertips. And you can use our discount code there to get a discount, and that is, as you see on the screen, FFB/box with 2 X's there to get that discount. So thank you to Admin Box for being a sponsor here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And also give a shout out to while you get your Admin Box, you might as well go over and check out iRacing iFlag, because I tell you what, they got the best virtual flag system out there, 64 LEDs giving you plenty of information that can give you all types of different things. Not only can it give you the flag state out on track, such as under caution at this moment, as you see our iRacing flag there at the top of our ticker, it's flashing yellow, letting you know under these caution laps, but you know, it can also give you such as spotter abilities, such as letting you know there's a car to your inside, your outside, and other information. So make sure you head on over to iRacingIFlag.com, use that promo code right there, FreakyFast2022, to get yourself a discount at purchase. So thank you to the sponsors. As looks like, Carl, we're back ready to get going green here, man. So double file back up.
Double file side by side. Pace car is diving on the pit lane. The 40 in control of the field, and he's going to wait and launch like he has. The 00 is going to try and hold off the second place, the third place car of Coffee, and he can. Looks like he's going to be able to have the momentum around the outside line, but the 7 going to dive down hard. We see some brake lock up, Zach, and looks like the 7 of Coffee is going to take that second position away here. Ooh, he's going to lose the nose a little bit, but these guys racing hard early on. We know that's where you can get the positions as quickly as possible, as these guys are side by side here through the field. And Zach, this is we were talking about the wheel spin getting on the throttle, but let's go to how hard it is to get on the brakes at the right time and find that right level of aggressiveness, but yet try and maintain your grip and not lose the front end of your car through the corner.
Yeah, there's multiple different things. Again, I think the caution flag is going to fly here for the 9th time tonight, as these guys having a little bit of trouble. Let's see the 15 there of Matthew Slender, who came back out on track after a little bit, and now back out there has got towed, so he's going to pull it back behind the wall there, 46 laps down, unfortunately bringing that caution out. But yeah, this place is very, very tough to put the brakes you know, into a perfect place, Carl, because I tell you, you see a lot of lockups. And again, like I was saying, a lot of times that happens late into the corner, because that's when the drivers are starting to have the turn for the corner, and that's when you're going to see a lockup happen, when the load transfers from one side of the car to the other. But the biggest thing that you have to do is really, you know, be confident on the brake here at this track. And, you know, you can lose the front end too, but you also can lose the rear end. So a lot of different things that are possible. So looks like we got confirmation that the 21 had to serve a penalty, we believe. So that's interesting for him. So unfortunate for him is like he'll have the rebound for that from 3 laps down. So.
And 3 laps down here is very difficult. You don't get a lot of pit stops. I mean, I guess we've seen a decent amount of cautions tonight so far, but with all this beating and banging, we got to mention Buttkicker. They are a main sponsor here for the Cup Series at the Wicked Racing League, but they're also a huge sponsor here for us at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And of course, every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The Buttkicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, and I mean everything: footsteps, explosions, race car engines, you name it. It moves a physical mass instead of air, so you get a really accurate haptic response, and even better yet, it's all in sync with every game you play. No additional software required. Tell them we sent you. Use the code FreakyFast20 for 20% off your entire order. I got one. I love mine. It just changes the whole world for me. So go check them out. Tell them we sent it, and they'll give you a little bit of a kickback in return.
It looks like we got them double filed here, man, and they're about to try to go back green here. It's been tough so far, and you know, it's to be expected at this racetrack. You know, it is so tough to just make a lap around here by yourself. I was watching guys in practice struggle with that, so I knew at some point here we'd have some carnage, and it's definitely reared its head here. As it looks like we're going back green.
Going back green. Looks like the 7's going to have some trouble staying in line, but here we go. Green flag is out. The 40 is away. The 00 had a great restart behind him. Ooh, as we look at, looks like the 18 might get a little bit of a help from the car behind him getting into that turn 1, but we make it clear through turn 1, turn 2, into 3, coming out of 4, and just like that, a lap is done here at the Coliseum. These guys, ooh, looks like the 13 car there is going to make a really aggressive move, and the 16 behind him is going to give him a nice little shove. So, ooh, some bumping and banging here, Zach. There's not going to be much left of these bumpers after this race.
No, definitely not. The bumpers are going to be fully used by this point, by the end of this race. So, it's going to be interesting to see who's got what at the end of this thing. But at the moment, looking at that 38. Oh, our leader had a big moment. You can see the smoke there trailing into the corner. He had a huge lockup, and that allowed John Curtis in the 00 to close his way up for this lead. And it's been a revolving door of drivers trying to fight Ryan Thomas off here, as it seems like the drivers always flip-flop positions. Is there again the 77 is Jimmy K there around, as he's going to be spun around and losing a lap here.
Jimmy Kubinek again with an issue, but he was one of the last drivers to receive the lucky dog, and even going down another lap, as long as he stays in that position, he should be fine being able to get back that lap when another car maybe takes a little bit of a spin around one of these corners. And Zach, it's just more of the same. These guys pushing and shoving. We've actually been able to watch a lot of that, a lot of the bumper being used, a lot of lockups. So these guys just not giving each other a lot of room, and really making a fun exhibition race for the rest of us.
Yeah, no doubt. As it's been some beating and banging, and I tell you, the interesting thing is like to see if any of this will carry over into the regular season. Like, does anybody get frustrated with somebody here, and they go into the regular season and say, "Man, that guy is that got on my nerves." So it'll be fun to see. There's, I think, Gavin Rogers there. He got a lap back, so he's gonna be now one lap down in that 16 machine, our pole setter. So he's trying to make his way back up. Adam Buzzio is still 3 laps down, unfortunately for him, with Jimmy Kubinek there, and also Gavin Rogers a lap down. He's not been able to get that lucky dog any of those times, but we do have a stage caution coming at lap 100 too.
Lap 100 will end this second stage. That would be 70 laps between the 30-lap ending of stage 1 and stage 2. And Zach, let's go back to racing each other and maybe being frustrated. Yeah, this is supposed to be a fun race, but this is the first time these guys have ever raced against each other. We mentioned it earlier in the broadcast, where everyone's trying to know each other and race each other. And these race car drivers, they have long memories. So they are definitely going to know and realize how these guys are driving and how they're getting raced by everyone else, and they're going to go into that thinking, going into the very first race of the regular season, thinking how these guys race against each other.
No doubt, Carl. It definitely could carry over, man. So we'll see how it all works out. As then we'll get double file back up here, as we're going to take another attempt at a restart here, 10th of the night, and see how it all works out. As it's definitely been a wild one. Like I said, it's been kind of flip-flopping too between these guys. Is you've had that 00 and the 07 there, kind of going back and forth, and it's going to be an interesting time here. Is again, you got a delayed green here, folks. So going to be taking another lap around here, the beautiful sights and sounds of the LA Coliseum.
Beautiful indeed. And as we're riding on board of the 7 of Alex Coffey, we see that the 00 there in the outside line, he's been probably the most successful driver maintaining that outside line and keeping that second position on the restart. So I'd be curious to see if he can do it again, because Alex Coffey has definitely been on the door looking for that spot. But the 40 machine, we're going to see, gets a great launch with the 00. Ooh, maybe he might not get the same launch as he's been, but he can hold that outside line just a little bit better. And the 07 can't get that launch, so the 00 maintains the second position.
Yeah, that's super impressive. That's something you don't see many people doing. So that shows you that John Curtis has got that figured out, doing a great job in the restart zone. And he looks very smooth, I must say. So we got a big wreck off the corner. No yellow yet, but there was a big wreck there. I'm surprised we just didn't get no yellow.
No yellow, that was the 19. There's a bunch of smoke right in front of our leaders now, as we see the 40 on the tail of the 19. And just like that, lap traffic gonna make a preview here at the Coliseum in the clash for the Wicked Racing League. We're gonna see how these guys shape up and pass this lapped car.
And there is another caution on the racetrack, as it looks like, I believe the 9, I believe. Actually, sorry, no, not the 9. The 19, possibly. One of those cars, 18, or Blaine Wilson. He's gone around. So, it looks like, again, another spin here off the corner. The guy's just not being able to put that power down.
Not being able to put the power down, and once again spinning out. But that was back in the field, and those guys we've seen, Zach, clumped up in really good cluster, especially later on in a run, trying to fight side by side, and there's just not a lot of space. But as we see here riding around for our 10th caution of the night. One more sponsor we have to talk about is Advanced Sim Racing. They were founded in 2020 and is the fastest growing North American rig simulator out there. You can find them. We love having them on board. They're owned and operated by sim racers like everyone out there, you know, trying to get in there. They design and build the sturdiest, most durable racing simulation cockpits available on the market today. So go check them out, advancedsimracing.com. Use the code FreakyFast5, all spelled out. They will give you about 5% off your entire order. Tell them we sent you and they will help you out. So we love having Advanced Sim Racing as a sponsor here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting. And Zach, I wouldn't mind having one of those cockpits with all the carnage we're seeing. Definitely be able to try and be comfortable with the pacing and keep cool under pressure during the live action racing, as we've seen bumper to bumper this entire race.
Yeah, it's definitely it's been LA traffic, so perfect way to represent LA Coliseum here. So bumper to bumper traffic, and really trying to make this this race pretty interesting. Is unfortunately tonight we won't have a music act. Unfortunately, we couldn't get our producer Rob Moore to come here and sing his special, so we'll definitely be keeping to the racing here tonight, like NASCAR with the halftime show. So we'll be not having no Freaky Fans halftime show here tonight, but we'll keep the racing going. It's double filing back up, and we'll get it back going again, Carl. Let's see how long we can keep it green, man. It's definitely been tough to do tonight. 10 cautions here for the first 85 laps. Let's see what they can do.
We are definitely going to see, and here we go. We've seen the past few restarts. 40 on the inside, 00 on the outside. The 40's just going to wait just a little bit, and he is away. Maybe a little bit of wheel spin there. Got a little squirrely on that launch, but the 7 there on the inside doesn't matter. The 00 making that outside line work really well, and he pulls back into that second position as we are riding along again. And green flag at the Coliseum as we watch and on board. We see how close these guys are getting. We see that Camry logo right in the camera. So these guys are not giving each other an inch.
Not an inch indeed. Is looks like Curtis trying to open up the corner a little bit here, making a little bit of a run, but Thomas has been solid up front. He's had a few lockups that have sent him wide, but he's had the gap to control those lockups to get back in front, and hasn't gave up that bottom lane. So good on him. But losing the rear there. He's going to have a bigger checkup. John Curtis now to the inside. He'll be looking for that spot as now Thomas rolling that top group. Can he keep it up and keep the momentum up? And no, Curtis again back to the inside. Great racing here for first.
Great racing right behind him, the 07 of Coffee. Almost lost it on the bumper of the 00, but here we are, the 23 trying to get on the pit run. Oh, the 40 is going to lose it just a little bit. He's going to clip the bumper, the quarter panel of the 00 and send him into the outside wall, and the rest of the field is going to pile in, and that is going to bring out our 11th caution of the night. So another incident for the leaders. They are battling, and another one bites the dust, as it were, Zach. So here we go, another restart, but now the 00 way back in the pack.
Man, oh man, that was right at the front of the field and really caused a log jam there for us. So was one of those terrible situations that happens when the leaders in the wreck, and really this time there was nowhere to go for them. So everybody piled in there. There was a couple guys that piled in a little bit late there in the 22. Eric, he got a pretty big late hit in there, and definitely pretty interesting here for sure is that caution flag has been flying a lot here as it continues to be 11 cautions.
And, you know, this is just the short track racing, as it were. These guys bumping, banging, beating, and rubbing their tires back and forth, making sure they try and get their best way. Everyone wants to win a race. It doesn't matter what race it is, and that's what these guys have come to prove, and putting on a great show for the rest of us. Seeing, looks like the 00 is going to get that looks like the 40 might also get a EOL penalty for bringing that caution out. So this mixes up the field. That puts the 38 of Jamie Plord in that first position with the, looks like the 21, Adam Buzzio, making his name known again here in the top 3.
Yeah, I think, but Adam's still 3 laps down there, Carl, so he's going to drop back. So unfortunately for him, he's not going to be in position as Curtis is going to have to work his way back up. And man, oh man, it's Gabe Plord the lead up front, and also Harrison in that 13, the top row. Some new names up here: Chad Bean, Stephen Borbell. So drivers that have been up front all night. Even Jimmy Kubanek, he's been spun around a couple times. He's up to the top 5. So it just shows you here at the Coliseum, the right time and at right place, you might be in a good position coming down to the end of this thing.
Definitely. He's been down a lap a couple of times, so seeing him there in the top 5 is great for him, making that recovery and keeping his nose down to the grindstone. But as we're talking here, we are side by side. The pace car is going to roll down pit lane. 38 in control of the field, and he will launch. Has a great launch on this restart. The 13 of Ryan Harrison going to maintain that second position, and they're going to be side by side for third on back behind him. So here we go. Looks like the 13 is going to dive really hard onto the bumper of the leader, but not quite get there. As you see this field, a huge jumble of machinery trying to get through these really narrow corners.
Yeah, also remember, is the wrecking back there for position. I think it's the 21 that goes around Adam Buzzio. Looks like he was involved in something there. I believe it was him getting into the 77 of Jimmy Kubanek. They're sending him around, and from there, it was chaos, and I believe this should bring us to that stage break at lap 100.
So here we go. Wicked Racing League, 2 stages in the books here almost. So these guys racing hard, but already over halfway through the race with nary a panel saved. But here we are. This is what we love to watch as these guys running hard. So the 18 looks like he's going to take a free pass and get back on the lead lap.
It's definitely been one of those nights, Carl, is these guys are, I mean, it's the Coliseum. I expected this. I ain't gonna lie. I came here and said, well, it's the Coliseum. These guys are going to have a tough time trying to get around here racing each other. Like I said, it's hard enough to get around this place by yourself. When you add 16 or 15, I should say, other cars out there, it really adds to that factor of when stuff happens, you have nowhere to go, and that's when you're going to have cautions, and that what equates to 12 of them. So, man, I expect that number to keep going up. I mean, we could see it. I mean, we don't know yet. We'll see when it hits, but it could be up there in the 20s. So, expect it, folks. But I tell you what, at some point we could get a long run. You never know here. That's the beauty of racing.
That is the beauty of racing indeed. And what we were talking earlier, they have 4 sets of tires. They have only 60% of fuel. They may not even need it at this point with all these cautions. We've run about 61 laps under caution out of the 101, so only 40 laps of green flag racing tonight. These guys may be saving for their tires and their fuel for that long run, Zach. So you never know what can happen. We still have a lot of racing in front of us.
Well, I also question. I don't even think you cannot make a pit stop here at this track, I believe. So there's technically no pit stall. So a 60% fuel of that does make me worried, saying if they could make it to the end. But I think with the amount of caution laps we've had, there's plenty of fuel left. But if this thing would have went green, it'd have been close.
Close indeed, just like all the racing on this close, tight-knit track. But here we are, green flag in the arms of Barney the flagman, and off we go. The 38 in control of the field. It got a really, really late restart. That is going to allow the 13 to get the 19 into the inside of him, but the 19 can't quite make the pass, but he is there for a second. As we watch, we see that 00 of John Curtis try to make his way through the field, and he is already up to 5th. So John Curtis from the back to almost to the front already. As we see, it looks like the 13 had to get out of the throttle, having an issue.
Yeah, the 13 might be serving a penalty. So similar to what we've seen from a few other guys, but he'll be coming down as I believe there's no incident limit or incident penalty count. So I was thinking maybe that was the cause of these here, but also the question is we're asking is there a restart zone? There is the Geico restart zone on the wall here. As Buzzio goes around, another caution is right in front of the leaders there. So 13th caution there is back out on the racing surface as the 38 of Jamie Plord still leads the way as Ryan Thomas is back here, as John Curtis up to 3rd, and definitely interesting, but we're thinking they have the start zones activated, but we'll have to make confirmation of that heading into next week.
I would imagine we might be actually using, and that might be why Ryan Harrison was serving a penalty and pitting in that time. But don't look now, the 00 of John Curtis, after earlier incident with the leader, is now back in third position in front of the 19, but behind the 40, of whom he had an issue with. So both of these cars coming from the back again to the front, and the 77 of Jimmy Kubinek going to take the free pass. So Jimmy Kubinek back on the lead lap.
Yeah, that's going to be big for him there to get back on the lead lap after going around on one of those incidents there right before. Is he'll be back there with 9 other drivers, but yeah, I got a feel for a few of these guys caught a couple laps down. I mean, Adam Buzzio's went from bad to worse. He was 3 laps down, now going to be 9 laps down.
And unfortunate indeed, he had a really fast car early on in the running. A small mistake put him out of the running and 9 laps down. Maybe just have a chance to ride around, but we mentioned it, Zach. This is our 13th caution of the night. Battle of attrition looks like it's coming to be, as Jamie Plord has led the restart the past couple of times. So Jamie, once he got out to the lead, been able to maintain the field, has been able to keep it. But 2 of the fastest cars all night long are going to be hot on his bumper.
That they are Ryan Thomas, John Curtis, and also Alex Coffey. Those 3, I'd say, have been the 3 of the quickest drivers here tonight. And also Gavin Rogers, our pulser. Can't count him out. He's came back from being 2 laps down at one point there. He's up to that 5th position in that 16 machine. So we'll see how he's able to try to make his way back up there. But they're going to get him double file back up here, Carl, and see how we can run out the rest of this race here. It's been wild so far. I expect no less from here on out.
Wild west here at the LA Coliseum, but yes indeed, Zach, the lights on the pace car are out and we are about to go green side by side. Pace car on pit lane, green flag is getting ready to wave, and it is in the air. The 38 with a false launch almost, letting the 40 really get off on them, but the 38 is going to lock it up just a little bit. The 40 hard on the outside line. It looks like the 00 cannot get around the 38. The 38 is going to take out the 40 in the front of the pack, and that's going to stack them up there at turn 4. So another caution here at the Coliseum.
And Coffey got involved in that also. There is definitely was a little bit interesting, but I can confirm that Plord and Thomas both had black flags there, so on that restart zone. So I think that was the restart zone that got them there, but now this caution, they're have to wait till it goes back green before they can serve it. This is not going to be ideal for the 38 or that 40.
Not ideal at all, because the 40 is one of the faster cars on the track tonight. But the 00, John Curtis, front to back, now to the front again, and now control of the lead with the 18 of Blaine Wilson. We haven't talked about him a lot tonight. He did have a spin earlier, but he has recovered nicely. And then sitting there in third, Stefan Corbell. All 3 are Toyota, so Toyota's dominating the field tonight, it looks like, and only a couple Chevys and sprinkled in some Fords. So a lot of Toyota lovers out there on the field tonight. I wonder if that has anything to do with what we've seen tonight.
I mean, you never know for sure. It's definitely, I think, mostly down through the track. This place is just notorious with what goes on. But, you know, I'm watching right now Jamie Plord on the track. They are changing the tires of the car. So I guess you can get service done this racetrack. I was unsure about that, but seems like you can get some service done to your car, and Plord's going to get out there on some new tires, and I'm interested to see what new tires even matter at this point with how many caution laps. I wouldn't think so, but you never know. The only problem for him is he's going to be a lap down.
A lap down indeed. And Zach, I was looking at the track information. Officially, it has 13 pit stalls. I don't know exactly how it's working, but you can, I guess, make these pit stops, change tires, and get some fuel. So these guys cycling through, serving those penalties, making it worth it. You know, being a lap down, you can recover, and if you do it once, maybe you can do it twice. Jamie Plord, they're in that lonely one-lap spot, but side by side, ready to go. Green lights are off on the pace car, and he is going to make a hard left onto that almost non-existent pit lane, and the double zero is going to wait until the restart zone, and he is off. The double zero with a great restart on this with 58 to go here, all alone with the lead. Looks like the 19 is going to try and put on the pressure to the 18 of Blaine Wilson. Stefan Borbel on the inside lane making a move for second.
Yeah, look at this. Two drivers that we haven't talked much about tonight up front now in the second and third spot, battling as they take that position. It's going to be the 19, Stefan Borbel, up to second as Curtis tries to drive away from this field. The rest of these drivers behind just keep battling and trying to take any spot they can there, as it's going to be a battle back there around that sixth position is Coffee and Rogers, along with the 13 there of Harris, involved in this racing back here, as these three were all on top of each other.
Oh, and then we have Adam Buzzio, who's kind of sitting around. He's going to make a dive hard on the 77. He is 9 laps down. Ooh, it looks like the 17 is going to go around, bringing out our 15th caution of the night. The 23 going to try and avoid him, and we are rolling again. But Adam Buzzio trying to get, if he has to do it the hard way, he's going to do it the hard way, making some really aggressive passes on the leaders, trying to claw his way back to the lead lap.
Yeah, he's definitely been pretty aggressive there trying to get back to it, but yeah, that many laps down is going to be tough to do. Plord, he's 5 laps down. Thomas now 3, as they've got those black flags, and it's 8 drivers on the lead lap. That's it's going to be tough for a lot of these guys to get back to, especially with 2 laps down there. Harrison, Roberts 2 laps down. You only lucky dog only goes to 1 spot, and you know that's going to only happen here every now and then. So we'll have to see who can get those laps back. Man, right now at the LA Coliseum, 8 drivers on the lead lap, but it's anybody's game still.
Anybody's game. We still have 52 laps to go, so we're going to go green with just under 50 to go, and we've seen how much can happen in 50 laps. You can go from the front and the back and vice versa, so really there's still a lot of racing to go here at the Coliseum, at the Clash for the Wicked Racing League in the Buttkicker Cup Series. So these guys racing really hard, not really giving up. Ryan Harrison got 1 lap back, so the 13, there is only 1 lap moving forward. He's hoping to try and get back up there and get that lead lap back again.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get back on that lead lap there, but interesting thing is next week the season does kick off, and that's going to be that's going to be at Dover, as we're going to be there with these guys for the Buttkicker Cup Series for the Wicked Racing League, and season number 1 starting off at Dover. Then we'll go ahead to Michigan and Richmond. 3 definitely interesting racetracks to kick off their season.
Definitely interesting. Dover as a debut track. The Monster Mile, those really long sweeping corners, all concrete. These cars already really loose. It's going to be really fun to see those guys tackle Miles the Monster and see them run. But don't forget, you don't miss a thing. You hit that like button, you hit that subscribe button, you'll be notified. And whenever we go live and we have stuff going all week long, we're right here. Right now, we are getting ready for another restart side by side. Lights are off on the pace car going down the back stretch of the super tiny quarter-mile track. But this has been super fun to watch. If you are now just tuning in, we have had a ton of action, bumping and grinding, but here we are. Green flag is going to be in the air again. The double zero with the restart, waiting to the very last possible moment to make that move. We are 3 wide, 4 second, 17 on the inside, 18 and 19 all together, and already side by side for second place. The 17 gets behind them. These guys running each other really hard, with the double zero loving that open track in front of them.
Yeah, Curtis has really liked all of that space there for him for sure, but almost contact between the 19 and then the 18 spins around, and we're back under yellow here once again, as it's going to be Blaine Wilson spun around off of 4.
Another one of those issues, Zach. It looks like he didn't quite stay as high as he needed to. He is going to gather up our leader, unfortunately, trying to get it straightened out. So even more drama on the track. Our leader now may have some front end damage. That'll be interesting to see how that affects the rest of his race tonight.
I tell you, he's definitely got some damage on the nose. I'm looking at it right now, and hopefully not going to be nothing too bad. Doesn't have any required damage flags or anything like that. But that front nose is it's beat up pretty bad. And the thing that makes me worried is cooling. You know, if it doesn't cool right, you have such high RPMs and constant RPM sustained here that you could possibly be looking at an issue there. But we'll have to see how it works out for John Curtis. But yeah, that was a wild incident there to bring out that yellow.
Wild indeed, and you mentioned it, Zach. You want to keep that airflow going. If these guys are running third gear, they are running upwards of over 9,000 RPM, really pegging that limiter and pushing everything to the limit. That's going to increase the oil temps, the water temps, and you run that risk of blowing that engine if you have some front end damage. So we're going to have to keep an eye out on the 00 and see if that car maintains its pace and without compromising its structural integrity there of the engine, making sure it doesn't blow up.
Yeah, you know, we got that damage back to the engine. So before, with the new damage model here to these next gen cars, they did have an issue where the engines would not get damaged. But now they have fixed that here. So kudos to iRacing there, going back, getting it all worked out, all the kinks. And you know, also another thing I've noticed is the net code, the collisions, all of that has been so much better since the last update. They even brought it up in their patch notes about how the collisions now, instead of the cars kind of ricocheting off each other, they kind of stick together more now. It's definitely interesting. I've seen a few more incidents where guys just don't, you know, hit each other and ricochet off into the fence. They kind of stay connected, and it takes a pretty big hit to make a guy kind of, you know, bounce off you. So good job on iRacing. They've always been improving that and working on those collisions.
Definitely gotta love iRacing. They gave us this platform to do all this fun stuff with all our fans, all our racers. But here we are, green time again here. The 00 in control of the field. He's gonna wait again to the very end of that restart zone, and he's gonna launch with the 17 of Gavin Rogers. It has taken him all race, but he is back up at the front of the field, followed by Jimmy Kubinak there in third, and the 23 that Chad Bean right behind him. Sorry, that's Christian De Roches definitely behind him, looking to make a pass on the 77 for third.
Yeah, there's a mix-up of drivers on the lead lap, drivers on non-lead lap, so it's just every driver going for any little spot they can here now, as they haven't had much time to get warmed up here tonight. They've you know, had a lot of cautions, and I think the 21 of Buzzio's around again. Oh, he's parked in the middle of 3 and 4, and that's going to bring out another yellow here. So 17th caution, I believe, of the night.
17th caution, and these we just keep going tonight, Zach. These guys really want it. Doesn't matter where they are. We only have 7 cars on the lead lap, but now there's 3 cars 1 lap down, so they are battling themselves for that lucky dog position, just making that race even more exciting there in the back. But Buzzio was 9 laps down. He's now going to be 11 laps down. He might just park, but we are going to see and find out about that. So that'll be one more car that may not be on the track here coming on, and looks like the 18 of Blaine Wilson's going to get that free pass.
Yeah, he'll happily take that there to try to get himself back, as I believe that'll put him back on the lead lap. So 8 cars on the lead lap. Ryan Harrison is 1 lap down. TJ Roberts is 1 lap down. So those two are going to be looking to say, hey, let's get another caution here quickly, and hopefully I'm ahead of one of the other. So, man, it would be nice for them to get back on the lead lap here. But now, with Rogers up into that 2nd spot, Curtis in 1st, our 1 and 2 drivers in qualifying now just flip-flopped as 1-2 right now.
And one thing I've seen interesting about John Curtis is, unlike some of the others, such as the 40 that was earlier, and in the 17 of Gavin Rogers, he's been waiting to the very last possible moment to get on that throttle and restart, making everyone kind of hold up a little bit, and then I've seen a little bit wheel spin on the following guys. So 00 has a different strategy and tactic for these restart zones than the rest of the field, it seems.
And it's really seemed to work for him well, so we'll see if he can keep that up for the majority of the rest of the night, as it's definitely nearing the end here. As you know, if we were to go green for a decent portion here, this would be over in a blink of an eye, man. I mean, it's such a short racetrack that you will literally click laps off here in less than 14 seconds. So they can pile up very quickly here. So if you're a driver trying to make something happen, you're going to have to make it happen quickly.
And that just adds to the intensity of this track and adds to the urgency. Yeah, we've had a lot of cautions, but it doesn't matter until the checkered flag is waved and we see these guys finish the race. But we are side by side again for another restart here. The 00 in control. Will he wait? Oh, he doesn't wait till the end of the restart zone. He makes it up starting at about the middle, but the 17 of Gavin Rogers going to take that second position as we see the 9 go around off the 23. Weird spin around there into stay green for it. Now we will see the 9 is still there on the track so far. Right, our leaders are right there. Oh, this is going to be really close. There's the caution, as it looks like he might have tagged the second place car, but looks might have been able to avoid any other additional damage.
Yeah, I think he tagged Gavin Rogers there trying to get back up to speed, but man, just gotta be a little bit more heads up there and not trying to jump back in front of the field as they're coming at speed. So it's tough to get these things turned around on how short track it is like this and how narrow, but gotta be patient. Once you already go a lap down, no reason to get into the rest of the field. Almost took the leader with him there too. So unfortunate for Chad Bean getting turned around there, but man, oh man, definitely now what you want to see when you pull out in front of the track like that.
Not at all, but it's, you know, a little more awareness is maybe required for a situation like that. You know, you have the leaders, it's a short track. Maybe just wait for the caution to come out, take that lap down, like you said, Zach. Don't take any other damage, but you also don't want to ruin another race. We've talked about it before. You have issues with other guys early. You will remember that. You don't want to have that reputation starting off, especially on a new league. So definitely got to keep an eye out for that and just maybe be a little more self-aware next time.
Yeah, definitely got to keep that relative up and see where that traffic is coming before you launch back out onto the racing surface. But man, oh man, it's getting down to the nitty gritty. We're going to be quickly within almost 20 laps of this finish of this race. And I mean, even pace laps go by pretty quickly here. So this race will be nearing an end soon.
Soon indeed. We have 27 laps to go here at the LA Coliseum, and just like we started, Zach, it's almost ending. It with all the cautions, even it has gone by really quickly here, especially for our first broadcast here at the Coliseum. So it's been really fun to watch and really fun to learn here, seeing how these cars handle, seeing how the track handles, and just how everyone races each other and how aggressive. I'm really excited for what we get to see moving on, especially next week at Dover.
No doubt Dover's going to be a fun time, and you're definitely not going to want to miss that, folks. So make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, and thumbs up button there, and also the bell notification so you'll be notified each and every time we go live here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. As we got racing action coming up here very quickly, starting next week as pretty much 6 days a week. So you're not going to miss a thing. Stay tuned to Freaky Fast.
Stay tuned right now as we prepare for another restart. The 00 waiting again, still deep in the restart zone, and off we go. The 00, John Curtis with a great launch in the 17. Behind him, Gavin Rogers taking that second spot. Jimmy Kubanak taking that third. Alex Coffey back on the lead lap, following closely behind.
Yeah, Coffey's been strong tonight, but just hasn't been able to stay up there in contention. Now trying to fight for that spot, but we're seeing the 16 here try to close it down to Curtis up front. Hasn't been able to do it yet, but Curtis has just got to be clean, consistent, and concise here. As you never know, a caution could be right around the corner if you can just hold off for the lead.
And just like that, Jimmy Kubanek is going to spin it coming out of turn 4. No caution yet. He's going to get it going the right way around. Looks like we may stay green here. So Kubanek with an issue, keeping it green at the Coliseum. Right behind him are the leaders, so he's got to be careful. Oh no, Alex Coffey having an issue coming out of 4. So a lot of these guys struggling here later on in the race.
It has been one of those nights, no doubt indeed, as guys are just looking to survive the clash. As we're closing down under 20 laps to go now, Carl. And I tell you what, there's some hot and heavy mess going on as John Curtis, he's got a whole bunch of pressure with Gavin Rogers behind him in the 16 machine. So they got the 77 there. Jimmy Kubanek they're right with him. So you're definitely not going to want to miss this ending of the race, and you're definitely not going to want to miss those post-race interviews. You see that we got below. That's going to be coming up soon here. Don't miss it, folks.
And some of my favorite parts are those post-race interviews. We talked to the top 3 finishers and see how their thoughts move this week, moving on to next week. And I would love to hear some of the opinions of this week, of all the bumping and banging that we have seen. And just always be right on board here. We see a lot of these cars on top of each other as the caution comes out for the 19th time. It looks like the 18 of Blaine Wilson is going to send it around. So we are going to rack them up one more time, Zach.
Yeah, gonna rack them up one more time and see how this all shapes out. Is it's under 20 to go. You know, when they cross the line, it'll be 15 to go. So right here, this race clicking away very quickly, and you know we'll have to see once if we do get white checkered. You know, if that was the case, how many of those could possibly be. So we'll see how that all works out, folks. But right now, back under this caution here, and right now, Curtis, he fought off the battle of Rogers there, had to fight through the lap traffic there of the 77 of Kubanek, and they did a good job of that. As now Kubanek's going to get the lucky dog, and it's going to be 5 cars on the lead lap now.
5 cars on the lead lap, but 15 laps to go. There's not a time left, but it isn't over. All those drivers, one lap down of Harrison, Wilson, and Roberts are all going to be fighting, expecting another caution to come out and wanting that free pass back. And now that list will reduce itself to Ryan Harrison at the 13 and the 18 of Blaine Wilson, who we've had, we saw spin around earlier and actually bring out this latest caution. So with 5 drivers on the lead lap, I'd imagine that we're going to see quite a fantastic ending to this race. I don't see a lot of punches being pulled here, now that we've seen them earlier today, but I think we're going to just see the peak of how this race is going to turn out.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a fun ending. This is going to be cool to see how it all works out as they continue to pace here. And interesting call here. Alex Coffey, he brings it to pit road. I wonder if he's going to get some tires on this race car and try to get back out before that pace car comes around. And that's exactly what he did. He put right sides on the car, going to pull back out on the track. He might come back and put the left sides on possibly. So looking for new tires here to start this last run. That could be what the 7's looking for to get him forward.
It's going to be interesting. He looks like he's going to try and line up with the field as we are 1 to go, getting side by side again. And this is going to be interesting. 2 tires, and he's on the outside there, on the outside line. Man, this is, it might not have worked with everyone on the lead lap. Right now, 5 cars. Talking about strategy. Would have never expected to talk about that, but here we are with the restart. Inevitable as the 0-0 is launching great. The 17 machine with that damage. It doesn't look like it affects him too much. He's going to dive down there, cut off, and defend that second position. Set of sights on the first place cars. We are riding along with Coffey here is with those tires. He's gotten past the 19. He's looking to set his sights on that second place car of Gavin Rogers, but does he have enough time? 10 laps to go here at the Coliseum.
Yeah, that's the question. Does he have enough time? He clears there, almost loses the rear end, does get the pass done there, so takes over 3rd position there is the 07 of Alex Koff there. So he's going to try to run down Rogers and Curtis up front as it's going to be 8 laps to go. Not much time here at the LA Coliseum. What will we see here coming down to the end is going to be the question.
What will we see indeed is the top 3 are all kind of spread out, but after that the 19 is really not giving away that position to Coffey easily, but the 0-0 as we see, here we go. The 9 is spun around again there at turn 2 and brings out our 20th caution of the night, but we are at 7 to go, Zach. We are closing down on 0 lap, and now that's 6 to go with about 4 or 5 caution laps. This may be a race to the finish.
Yeah, this may be an unofficial green white checkered, so to keep it within the regulation time. So let's see how it works out here with the pace laps. Is it's gonna be 5 to go this time, but man, oh man, this time Coffey gonna be able to restart 3rd on the bottom. That's gonna help him, I think, have a shot for 2nd here on Rogers as he's got those pressure tires. But Curtis has been great out front, but all it takes is one mistake, one lockup. And how much harder are these guys going to drive it into the final corner on the last lap? Are they going to be willing to get the elbows out and move somebody.
Coffee was driving like a madman earlier. He was really trying to weave and bob through the field there, really aggressively taking that position from the 19, as we saw just now the 13 of Ryan Harrison take that free pass position, putting 6 cars on the lead lap now. And those 2 tires might be smart. We're going to see with that inside lines, like you mentioned, maybe a good spot for him right behind the 0-0.
Yeah, this could be the shot that he needs here for sure. Is we're gonna be coming to 3 to go this next time by. I think the lights should cut out on the pace lap here, and it'll be interesting to see. Is man, this race has been 20 cautions packed with action, and we're about to see what it all comes down to. Our front 3 here all qualified 1, 2, 3, so the pace very close between them.
Close indeed, and now we have the wild card of a couple fresher tires in that 7 machine of Alex Coffey. So just when we thought we wouldn't talk about strategy, here we are staring it in the face in the 3rd place position. So the 19 weaving behind him, trying to keep some temperature in there in those tires. But right now looks like the lights on the pace car are gonna go off. We are 1 to go here, go green actually after this restart. So already we look to see these guys. Hopefully we can finish this race under the green flag conditions, and this will count as a green-white checkered. Looks like there may be 3 available, so we'll see how many of those we'll have to use as the pace car makes its way down pit lane. 0-0 in control of the field in the restart zone, and he is going to launch like a cannon out of there. But the 0-7 of Alex Coffey going to shut the door on the 17 to try and take away that 2nd position.
Yeah, he's going to try to take this spot here as they come out of 4. They're going to look up here and see the white flag, I think.
White flag indeed. That is the freaky fast white flag. We are down. Next caution ends it. Oh no, the 7 getting a little loose. The 17 gonna make that pass going into there. Oh, the 17 of Kubanek trying to make a difference, and they drag and race down the finish line. The 0-0 is gonna win it, and Alex Coffey gonna finish in 3rd after fending off the 77 of Kubanek. So, Alex, that was a fantastic ending to a race. I can't believe what we just watched.
Yeah, that was pretty interesting for sure. Alex probably wanted to hold on the 2nd there. Unfortunately, the 16 goes up the inside there into 3 and 4 as the 7 bobbles a little bit, tries to cut across the track, almost gets into Kubanek, and Kubanek spins it coming to the checkered. So 2 cars spinning across the line, 20 cautions to get through 175 laps, but John Curtis is your winner here tonight at the Clash.
John Curtis the winner, and he is going to burn it down at the Coliseum on the stripe. Not a lot of people could say they've done that. He is going to light it up. Great win for Curtis and a great start to this Wicked Racing League. But ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. We have our top 3 finishers in our post-race interviews. So we will take a quick break, and when we come back, we will talk to those podium finishers. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Coliseum here for Freaky Fast Broadcasting. We have just concluded the clash here at the LA Coliseum, and we have finished under a green-white checkered, a really exciting race. And for the moment you've all been waiting for, we're going to talk to our top three, and we're going to start with our third place finisher, Alex Coffey. Hey, Alex, it's Carl and Zach up in the booth, man. Congratulations on the win, and just walk us through those last few races, especially almost having an issue with the spun out car later on in the run.
I got third place. It was a hard fought third though, getting back up through the field a few times. Self spun there at the beginning, just pushing a little too hard on the inside of somebody. It's real throttle sensitive here. I'm sure y'all seen a lot of self spins up there in the broadcast booth, but no, I had a good time when we got some green flag runs in, got stringed out a little bit. It started to get fun. So
Yeah, definitely was fun there for a little bit there. Alex, I tell you what, man, great run to get back up there to third for yourself here tonight. But we head off to Dover next week to start the season. How you feel about that one?
I'm feeling good. Shout out my teammate John Curtis for the win here tonight, and Dover is one of his favorite tracks. So not my favorite, but I will put in some extra practice hours and make sure we're good to go for next week.
Well, we are definitely excited to be there and watch that next week, Alex. Before we let you go, though, anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Just CNC Esports. My mom's probably in the broadcast watching somewhere. She's probably tuning in every race, so I'm sure y'all get acquainted with her before long. And yeah, just shout out everybody that's trying to work this new league out with us. We got a good group of admin teams with Buzzio and Nigel and John and a few more. So yeah, we just got to get stuff ironed out with a new league. Everything comes with growing pains. So I'm looking forward to the season. I think it'll be a good time.
Well, we're looking forward to it too, Alex. Congratulations on that third place finish. Good luck next week.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
And again, that was our third place finisher of Alex Coffey. With this upcoming is the second place of Gavin Rogers. Gavin Rogers, you finished second there, had some issues, fell to the back a little bit, but made it up to the front. What would you have needed to catch up to the 00 of John Curtis to take that win?
No damage really. I caught up in a lot of incidents there. Yeah, this a tough race after spinning out, trying to pass the 40 at the beginning there. Uh, but other than that, it was a chaotic race. Wish we could have had a green flag run there. I felt like I had something to compete for the win there, but I felt like I had a really good shot. Um, but other than that, I'd like to thank my sponsors, Printed Pieces, Nigel Christensen, I hope I said that right, for making these amazing paint schemes for me. I got a couple other ones coming up here, but yeah, I'm really excited for the season. And thank you guys for putting this all up together for all us drivers to have some fun here.
Yeah, definitely a good run, Gavin. I tell you, man, congrats on second. Zach up here also in the booth, man. Heading into Dover next week to start the season off there for the first real race. How you feeling heading into there?
Well, I haven't raced there before, so it'll be a first time for me. So, not really much to say. Just we'll see how it goes.
Well, we are definitely looking forward to it, sir. Hope to talk to you next week. Congratulations on the second place finish. Maybe we'll talk to you in first place.
Hopefully. Thank you guys.
And that was second place. But the moment you've all been waiting for, the winner of this, exhibition race, as it were. No points involved, but a win means everything. John Curtis, this is Carl and Zach up in the booth. Tell us how you won that, especially with having a little bit of that damage there in the front end. Were you worried about overheating?
Uh, it was in the back of my mind, but I was just gonna try to send it and have some fun, and that's what I did. So it was a fun race, but we've run this race last season in a different league, and it was kind of on the same path. It's a hard track and not a lot of guys, and it was new. It was brand new when it come out. We run it, and not a lot of people have practice on this track. So for what some of the racing I saw, it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't that bad at all, man. Well, congrats also, John. I gotta say, good run there for yourself, man. But start off the season at Dover next week. How you feel about heading off in there with some momentum with this win?
It's one of my favorite tracks for sure, and we're gonna put on a show. We're gonna do a bunch of practice this week and see if we can pull off another one.
Well, I can guarantee all your fans are looking forward to it. Before we let you go, anyone you want to give a shout out to tonight?
Yeah, I got kind of list. I want to shout out Wheelhouse Industries, Curtis Signs Incorporated, Get Money, and you guys for doing such an awesome broadcast. I've been watching it actually kind of while we're running, so and very impressed. Also want to shout out Adam Buzzio, Nigel Christensen, TJ Roberts, and Alex Coffey for all of us coming together and putting this thing together and having a good first showing. And I'm very excited for what we got in store.
Well, we thank you for that, and we're looking forward to it as well. Congratulations on your first place finish, John. You have a good night.
Thank you, sir. You too.
And that was our winner of John Curtis here at the Coliseum. No points involved, but already a lot of drama, a lot of beating and banging. Zach, what do you think as we go looking at this finishing order? We have John Curtis, Gavin Rogers, Alex Coffey. They started 1, 2, 3. They finished 1, 2, 3, but maybe in different orders. Jimmy Kubinek started 14th, was down a couple of laps a couple of times, and finished with a strong 4th position. Stefan Borbell in 5th, and Ryan Harrison in 6th. All those other cars lapped down, having some issues, some wrecking out. Unfortunately, some really fast drivers that were earlier on got caught in some So as we we'll go through this, Zach, what do you think as we can expect next week at Dover, seeing what we saw today?
Yeah, this is a racetrack that I don't think we can take a lot from. This will be kind of like a one-off deal, and John brought it up a little bit when he was talking about it there. A lot of people got practice here. Dover's a place where it's a little bit more in the wheelhouse of people. It'll definitely be pretty interesting heading off in there to see how they figure it all out. But definitely an interesting night for a few guys here, man. 16 drivers, and it looks like 6 of them going to make it home in that lead lap. And it was a tough time. But I tell you what, they made it through it, and now they're going to be able to kick off their season next week at the Monster Mile.
Definitely getting ready to kick off the season. I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Ladies and gentlemen, you can be excited to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. We are on it, and you never miss a broadcast. We have a great slate of events planned for July. We're going to start broadcasting nearly every day of the week, so don't forget to get that notification. But until then, hug yourselves, hug your loved ones, and make sure that you take it easy and be kind to everyone. But most importantly, until next time, keep it freaky fast.